Say hail to the queen, huh?
Hail to the queen!
Yeah. Yes. First of all, shout out to DJ Big Ricks getting it in, y'all. First of all, if you love yourself, I need you to make some noise right now. Because you know this is what it's about. I do want to say this first of all. This is my lovely, lovely co-host. You got to tell them who you are first of all, then we gonna basically get to it. Go ahead. Tell them who you are.
I'm Karma. I'm a very good friend of Candace's. Like, that's my whole reference for
Yes.
tonight. Like, I'm not even really that relevant. I'm just blessed to be here to be a part of this event with my sister.
Yes.
And I'm definitely about to cry in this moment.
No, don't
You
cry,
know
don't
what
cry
I'm
yet.
saying?
Not yet, not yet.
I might, you know what I'm saying? But this is just a beautiful woman. She's a very good friend of mine,
Yes.
you know, out in public and behind closed doors. So I know so much about her. So QueenLyfe is really real, and I know it's something that she was born to do. I don't even know if you guys know that the name Candace actually means queen.
Queen.
That's the Greek name for queen, the Ethiopian queen. Yes, the elephant
Yes.
queen tribe out of Ethiopia. So, you know, her mom may even not have known how powerful that was when she named her.
She know now.
Yeah, so she really birthed this. And
Yes.
I've watched her go through her ups and downs, you know what I'm saying? And it's all for a purpose. So you
That's
go
right.
through trials and tribulations in life, but you come to find out that it was all for something.
Yes.
And QueenLyfe was birthed out of her ups and downs, and I'm just blessed to be a part of that, to celebrate with my sister.
Y'all give Karma a round of applause. I'm talking about, listen, first of all, my name is the King MC, also known as the King Motivator. Carl is my name, but listen, this is my sister as well, and I do have to tell y'all this first of all. We're going to set a tone. We're going to leave all the bougie outside, all right? We family in here today. I don't know what you thought you came to, but if you here, it's because you feel the energy that the sister is putting out here. Now, let me tell you something. We know outside of these walls that it's a whole lot of negative things that goes on out in our community and out in the world. You made a conscious choice to be here today knowing that it's a positive movement, so I need you to exude all the positive that you have in you today, because you know God says that we are being pruned. We are being pruned for the greatness, and all of you all have great in you. She's being pruned for greatness, and she has finally found out exactly who she is and what she wants to contribute to the universe. Now, the universe will give you a lot of stuff. It'll give you all these items to be able to identify who you are, to measure yourself by, all these degrees, all this extra stuff that'll give you some type of personal satisfaction. But when it says, what are you going to give the universe? That's the question that you need to answer between you and whoever you believe in, whether it be God, Allah, Buddha, or Rodney. Y'all know I say Rodney because some people still believe in people. Whatever it is, all right? So, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, she has birthed QueenLyfe. She has birthed something to be able to change the words that have negative connotations that some of you all call each other and be able to answer to. She has decided to be able to dig deep inside of who she is and said, I am going to contribute to the universe. And when you walk up to another young lady, you say, hey, queen. And you better answer, hey, queen. And we're going to put out the positive energy. You're going to live to the greatest potential that you have in you. You're going to be the greatest woman that you are. We are going to pass it on because each one of you in here has an 8-year-old version of you in this world times 1 million. And I'm going to tell you the responsibility that we have. All of those 8 million girls in 10 years will be 18. And they will be crying and shouting out. And their words will resound loud. And you are going to have to take whatever you are doing at that moment. And you will have to turn around to them and say, yo, listen, queens, I got you. What you see right now hasn't always been. But life has pruned something so beautiful. I am going to show you all how to live the queen life. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all give a round of applause for your creator, Miss Candace QueenLyfe Strother.
Wow. I just want to say thank you all. You guys look so beautiful.
Yes.
And I am honored that you are all joining me in celebration of the QueenLyfe Inc. movement. And we have a mission to enhance the self-esteem, financial literacy, and career development for women of all ages. Because the truth is, when you empower a woman, you empower her family, and you empower her community.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
QueenLyfe, which stands for love yourself first every day, is a state of mind. Every day, every day. And once you recognize that royalty is your birthright, you walk in authority and with purpose. So, we're going to be comfortable tonight. King is going to ask me a few questions. And, I want you to know more about the movement. Definitely, it's a great opportunity for you to get involved. We have sign-in information. And this is only the beginning. And to be honest with you, QueenLyfe was for me. I needed a QueenLyfe. I had to create a space that freed me from feeling complacent, unfulfilled.
That's right.
Like my life was just going nowhere, This for me is freedom.
That's right.
So I had to create that space. And as I started praying and, just asking for a vision, I knew it had to be more than life. I was tired of applying to job after job after job, only to get back rejection letter after rejection letter after rejection letter. I was fed up. Time was passing me by. I needed to get my life. In just meditating, I often thought about my father. I watched him really kind of struggle with not living his life to his potential. He was very smart, well-spoken, self-taught in a lot of different areas, but he never really found his niche. And, I just kind of watched him go through the motions. And unfortunately, his life ended violently. And of course, I wish his story would have ended differently. But as I look back at his life, it just increases my desire to live. And I share that with you all to say some dark places in your life sometimes that give birth to your purpose. And you just really have to kind of take a different approach, a positive spin to what has happened. So with his situation, it really taught me that it was my duty to break the chains of misplaced potential. Okay, so that was really the catalyst for me. And, I look at his situation again, he's not living. All his talents, his skills, everything that he had in him died. So, okay, what can I do with that? I have to live. I need my life. I need to live a balanced life. I'm a queen.
That's right.
So I really have to put some things in the environment and help other women that have gone through a lot of the things that I've gone through, feeling that complacency. It's time to break a lot of chains, procrastination, just a lack of self-esteem. Because we are royal. So, you understand you got to walk in your royalty. And, this is not really me because I could kind of be by myself. Have my couple friends that I talk to here and there. But, my life has a different calling. And fear, you just have to walk forward. This is not comfortable, but life begins outside of your comfort zone. Are you going to live? So that's it. The main thing that stands out is just, wanting to fit in, wanting to be liked. I'm an only child. I don't have any siblings that I grew up with. So you want to, have friends. You want people to like you. So you may have just kind of, went with what was popular at that time or, not really figured out who you were. So just really me digging in and finding myself, overcoming the loss of a parent, of course, is very hard, especially the way that it happened. And just not really having a close relationship with him, but him teaching me so much, and just looking at his life as just a lesson. But of course, I had such a strong mother, and I give her a lot of credit. So it was that balance, and just... I love you, Mama. I see you, girl. You're so pretty.
You crawled into the corner of my mind, said you stopped by to have a talk with me. I knew right then that it was gonna be a long, long day. Now words play, tumbling around in my head, and it'd be easy just to call it a dream and duck my responsibility. Oh, it'd be so easy, easy just to play make-believe and let my thoughts walk the streets of naivety. 'Cause we're so young and restless. Yes, we're so young and restless. This life is like a drive, winding roads, potted holes, pulling us out of line. We've become so young and restless. Yes, we're so young and restless. This life is like a drive, winding roads, potted holes, so young and restless.
And I'm introducing my sis, but I just want to take a quick moment just to share my experience of stepping into my queendom, because I'm somebody that got scars, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of times people can't tell when you're blessed and when you're favored. They don't know like what your testimony is. So with me, I just been digging in and being still and really taking inventory on my life and stop pointing the blame and figuring out what it is I contributed to the problems or the challenges that I have in my life. Or how can I get to the next space? Because I had so many different things in my life that I want to do and couldn't get to them, just seeming so elusive. So, you know, but in that season of digging and searching, I just found in my DNA, I'm royal. And I'm unapologetic about it. You know what I'm saying? So being a king and being a queen, it's really not new to us. This is where we come from. You know, and sometimes that link that we're missing as a people, because we're so wrapped up in a European society, because we're here in America, you know, just tapping into our legacy and our lineage, because we were that before we were slaves. So, you know, that's a whole part of just really re-embracing being a king and a queen. And so for me, you know, that's how I got my crown. And I'm thinking about a scripture too, y'all, that just says, because it's beyond a physical crown. Blessed is the man or the woman who endures temptation, for when she is tried, she will receive a crown of life, which is promised to them who love God. Whatever God it is that you serve. And so we really already wearing those crowns. You just got to recognize that it's on your head.
All right. Okay. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Yes, my name is Jackie Adams, and I am the proud owner of Melodrama Boutique, which I've had for 12 years. And I must thank Candace and this QueenLyfe event for even giving me a voice and allowing me to use my voice. We sat down and I was very surprised and honored when she asked me, and she told me, you know, the things that she thought of me, very positive, and that energy and what she wanted. And when I started talking to her, she said, you know, I went on your website and I read your bio, and I was like, wow, I want you to be the one to share your story at my event for QueenLyfe. So I'm going to share a little bit about myself. I graduated from Grambling State University, have a degree in physics, and a master's in atmospheric science.
She's a genius.
Okay? Now, the one thing I will tell you, many ladies, because I know it's many people out here as we go to school and we're dreaming and we want to do things, follow your passion. Fashion has always been my passion. Unfortunately, when I went to Grambling, they didn't have my degree field, which I thought I wanted to major in fashion, but somebody pulled me to the side and told me I was making all A's in science and in my math, and had I ever thought about majoring in physics? It's less than 1% in the world as a black woman who have a degree in physics. And I was like, wow, okay. So anyway, and two, he said, we have a budget. I kind of heard you was having some problems with financial aid, and it was the truth. Now, if you went to a HBCU school, You know that line of financial aid? And it is the truth, and then the out-of-state fees. So anyway, the physics degree paid my way through school, and that was kind of my journey there. Well, when I graduated, the first thing I did, because I wanted to have some fun, I went to the mall and got a job at Bath and Body Works. You know? And don't be afraid. I think a lot of times when we're out there on that journey and we're looking for something and we think if we start at the bottom that we'll never make it to the top, really it helps you. That experience and that growth process is very important. So I went to the mall. I wanted to meet people. I've been gone from Houston for a very long time. Most of my friends have got married. Our lives have changed. And so I was like, Ann, I'm in grad school. And plus, my mom, you know, when you graduate from school, the first thing she asking you, when you gonna get a job? You know, and I was like, okay, so at least I did that. In the process of doing that, doing grad school, I decided to go and work at MD Anderson, do cancer research, and then I worked for BP. I was a geochemist. But again, the one thing that I loved the most was my part-time job, which I never gave up, because it was my passion. I loved people, it was social. In the process, I started my first nonprofit, and I think this is where me and her have this connection, All Women of Power. It was to teach a positive image through fashion, media, arts, and entertainment. Now, on my journey, I did wardrobe styling for Rap-A-Lot. Now, a lot of people, I can tell you, great label, they at least had a budget and they were paying. You know, stylists and visionaries in the room, sometimes it's kind of hard to get paid for your talent. So again, don't judge, okay? So that was part of an experience, but again, that was something that I loved. I enjoyed it. All Women of Power gave me an opportunity to mentor all of these young girls I used to see in the mall. And I just thought they was living they was just not really understanding how beautiful they were and what was possible. So I spent time with many young ladies helping them do their financial aid papers. Some of them wanted to go to cosmetology school, but they just didn't know how to get to that application or what was the process. And so many times I think as women and as QueenLyfe is doing here tonight, is opening up that avenue of communication that we have to do better with each other. And it is part of our responsibility to be there for each other. So on my journey with my education, well, now with my job, I made a success. I was doing things, but I still wasn't happy. I walked into a mall one day and I applied for a job, which I knew was overqualified. But when I walked into the store, I was like, this is a small Texas-based company. It was in Memorial City Mall. And I walked in and applied for the job, and I started off as a sales associate. And when I interviewed, I was really like, okay. But again, I was up for the challenge, which in 3 weeks, I had my own store. I was a manager. My sales was through the roof. You know, I believed in it. I made sure my appearance and my team was the number one. In a year, I was the buyer for the company. And within 2 years, I created a line for the company, and we had 350 accounts in boutiques throughout the United States carrying the line. I worked for him for 4 years, and Chloe Dow, who owns Lot 8, used to come by my booth. And every time, you gotta remember, on your journey, listen, because people will speak something to you. And every time she used to come by my booth, she used to say, why are you working for this man? Why don't you do this for yourself, Jackie? And I was like, well, I'm not really sure. I kind of really love this. I'm in Miami, LA, New York, and Puerto Rico 5 times a year. And she was like, well, you can do it for yourself. I was like, Another year came by. I was at the Dallas showroom. She came in. She had just finished her Project Runway deal, and she told me the same thing again. And so I listened. And one day I was sitting next to my boss, and we had 12 stores, and we downsized in 24 hours to 1. And all the other 11 stores had locks on them. Now, at that point, I sat next to him because my desk was right next to the boss. I can rebuild his company, or I can start my own. Now, of course, that was a thought process. And this is something else. Remember who you have riding around with you when you're making decisions. So I was telling my friends what was going on with my situation, and we was riding through 3rd Ward. And they knew the area. They lived off of Holly Hall. And we saw this beautiful new building. All of Almeda was all being dug up. And it was like, I said, I should do a boutique. And they was like, yes! You know, I was like, oh, hold on now. This loud talking, I was talking outside my head. But they was like, yes! And I was nervous to call the number on the building. So my friend called on the phone. And I was like, okay. I jumped in. Because that person didn't know the lingo and the communication. Now, most people now, y'all know we don't have 3-way anymore, but 3-way was still going on a little bit. People still had a landline at one point. You know, so we was on 3-way, and I chirped in, and I started talking, and it was like, okay, now who's doing this? And I was like, okay, I'm Jackie Adams, and blah, 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 and this is what I want to do. And they said, well, there's nothing else, come look at the space. And I was really kind of a little bit nervous, because if you know anything about regentrification and what's going on in 3rd Ward, it gets real expensive. It's making a change real fast. Right. And I was like, I'm not going to be able to afford this. I haven't saved any money. I haven't done anything. I'm working. Just downsized from 12 stores to 1 store, so I know I may not get paid. Yeah. I mean, many things was going on through me, but my friends was like, we're gonna do this. And so when I decided to do this, I went upstairs, and my landlord, the state representative, Forrest Miles. And when I was telling him about what I wanted to do, he was like, well, where's your business plan? Again, listen and pay attention. He didn't tell me no. He said, where's your business plan? I said, okay, I'll be back. Now, it took me a little time. I don't know if anybody in this room did a business plan yet. That in itself is an accomplishment to sit down and do. It takes work, you know, because you got to do the research and put the time in. Well, I came back 30 days later with my business plan, right? Yeah. I had to make a move because I knew what was going on in the area. So at the same time, then he asked me about the Capitol. Y'all know that big word? And you know what? I told him, give me a chance. I said, I've been working for somebody for 4 years, so I just gave him my story. The man is downsized to 1 store. And what I do know what I'm capable of doing is running this business. And I'm not sure about how all of it is going to happen, but give me a chance. And so, I will tell you this, in this QueenLyfe event that I am very honored to speak at, be willing to listen, to learn, and to share. And the opportunity that I'm affording you with the information is, it all can happen in the blink of your eye. Having the faith and understanding, but being connected, you know what I'm saying, and sharing, which we don't do a lot of. Right. And in that process, when I got the key, I signed the lease, and I called my cousin because I said I done did all this and I don't have a name for the business. I got to go get DBAs and paperwork. I got to hold on. You got a business plan. What's the name of this place? Right. So I called my cousin. I'm originally from Detroit. So I called my cousin in Detroit, and I was like, what am I going to name the boutique? She said, call it Melodrama. You so mellow, but you full of drama. I was like, now really? No, okay, now I know how to take that, but I'm going to write that down. And I took that right to the courthouse. And that's how Melodrama became. You know, she named it, but I told her, you know what, really, every woman, we're melodramatic. It's melodrama. Melodrama represents every woman in this room, and I think it's just kind of a great energy to know that that's just who we are. That's how we were created. And that's the fun and the beauty part of what melodrama is. And so in the connection of this evening that I just want to kind of tell to Candace and Karma and a lot of the faces out here that I know, I'm not going to try to call everybody's name, it's real, okay? 12 years later, I worked very hard, sleepless nights. It's the best journey, it's the only journey, but there's more to come. Right. I was sharing with Candace at brunch that I'm feeling some type of space, like I want to do some other things. I'm working on teaching. I've been going to do these workshops. I'm trying to do all this stuff, but you're just trying to stay focused on what you're doing and doing too much, and then even if feeling like you're getting complacent. Like when she said she created QueenLyfe. Right. So we sat down having that brunch conversation, which was very important because she was lifting me up, And I was in a space. And she was like, oh, no. You're great. I've been watching you do a wonderful job. Keep doing the events. I want to get connected. I want to do more with you. I want to share. I'm like, oh, okay. You know? And she just didn't know where I was that day. And I shared with her at that brunch. Like, she was like, hey, I'm working on trying to teach. I'm working on wanting to do a book. I got all these things. And, you know, and if I'm doing something, I'm a little off. And if you love me, and even if you don't, hey. You know, and that's what QueenLyfe, when she spoke to me, that was kind of what the energy was that I received about this event. So I want to thank you guys for listening to my story. I am Jackie Owner, the owner of Melodrama Boutique. And let's keep this show rolling.
The sister has just shared a portion of this life. This life is going to be beautiful. And it already is, and it will be better than it is. But here's what I challenge all of you to do. Listen, 100% of the people in the world have ideas. Less than 1% will bring them to life. The one thing that stops them from being able to move forward is fear. Let me tell you something. Right now, you don't know if you're going to be here tomorrow. So right now, you go hard or go home. So if you get another opportunity tomorrow, and you get an opportunity to wake your eyes up, because I don't know if y'all know, you don't wake yourself up. You're chosen to wake up. So when you wake up and you bring that word yesterday, yester means past. You bring yester into today, and then every time you do that, you push your dreams, your successes back 15 more months. So I challenge all of y'all to be able to use her story as a defining moment in your life, and you make a decision right now. No more complaining. I say stop complaining, make a decision. Don't hate, don't hate, don't hate. In the Bible, under King 1:1, it states, thou shalt not play or hateth thine. That's in my Bible. I'm just letting y'all know. And we're going to add Queen to it. And we're going to put Melodrama right there. Queen is a new stop. We're going to add it to the best Queen you can be. Let's give her another round of applause, y'all.